Hey guys, it's January 15th. It's the evening of the Iowa caucus. A lot of people are streaming. I decided it really wasn't worth the stream. Most of the note results were as predicted. Trump dominated the caucus. And let's take a look at some of the numbers here. And I'll give you some of my thoughts, what this means for the Republican Party. Trump easily won. He got more votes than all the other candidates combined. He crushed this. So what this means right now is if it's up to the GOP voters, the race is over. Donald Trump will be the nominee based on the voters. But the key thing is, will the voters' votes really matter? That's the key question. So then the second question is, if it's not Donald Trump because of some shenanigans, is it going to be DeSantis and Haley? And the neocon money, the media, the BlackRock, all those people have been putting money into Nikki Haley's campaign. She's a woman of color. Her parents are Indian. She doesn't really have ties to this country. She supported tearing down the Confederate monuments and trying to ban the Confederate flag. Again, because her family's not from this country. She doesn't have roots in this country. She's a total globalist. She puts Israel first, the whole nine yards. She's basically a liberal or a Democrat in the Republican Party. And as I said, the media and the establishment would be perfectly fine with her winning. And I think they would appreciate it because then they could say, see, we're still a democracy. We can be fair to a Republican. But what's the point at that point if she wins, right? So they're really pushing her. And Ron DeSantis, he was presumed to be the number two guy going into this election season. I thought that, but he made a lot of missteps. He doesn't have a lot of momentum. And all the neocon vote is going to Nikki Haley, especially once Mike Pence dropped out. Then there's Nikki Haley. Well, except Asa Hutchinson, bless his heart. I think, well, if you look down here, if you look at the polling here, he got so far 50 votes. only 50 people in Iowa voted for the guy. He's at 0.1%. Way to go, Asa. Asa's kind of a joke candidate. But so it's really between Ron and Nikki Haley. And Ron, he really had to separate himself from Nikki Haley. Iowa is his stronger state. He's going to be killed in New Hampshire because in New Hampshire, Democrats can actually vote in the GOP convention. Doesn't make any sense, but they're going to vote for Nikki Haley. So Ron needed a real strong showing tonight. I knew he was not going to win, but he had to do better than basically tying Nikki Haley. He's a little bit ahead of Nikki Haley, and I'm shooting this video. It's 9:11 p.m. Central Time on January 15th. So we'll see in the morning what the final results are. But he's really close. I mean, he didn't need a close second place finish. He needed to really pull ahead of Nikki Haley because Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, their only hope is Donald Trump gets convicted, which he probably will in the kangaroo court. And the Republican leaders, they have to do some shenanigans to kick Trump out of the party and then figure out how to divvy up the votes to the remaining candidates. I have no idea how they'll do this. This is unprecedented. We don't have any idea what's going to happen. But it looks like the party leadership would definitely prefer Nikki Haley. Now, if Ron DeSantis had a really strong showing here, maybe he could make the case, okay, if they kick Trump out, I'm going to be the guy. But it's really clear at this point it's going to be Trump. Some other thoughts about what happened tonight. The voters, at least the Republican voters, they care about the economy and foreign policy. Under Trump, it was prosperous and we had peace. We didn't have this Ukraine mess and all these wars, Israel and everything else. And I think people desire peace. They desire a good economy. They don't like a broken border that we see with Biden, with our country being overrun. And they hearken back to Trump. And I'm not a huge Trump fan. I will support Trump. I don't just worship him, though. He has his flaws, but people see him, they know him. He's a known quantity. And I think there's no stopping him. There's no stopping him in the primary season. The only thing that's going to stop him now is the legal process. And that's a good possibility. I think it will happen. Vivek thinks that, and I do think that's what's going to happen. Vivek did okay. He came in fourth, but I think he's going to hang around. I hope so. He provides a great voice. He brings up issues that none of the other candidates are bringing up. So I hope he stays in the race. Asa obviously should drop out. I think he'll drop out unless he's a total idiot. It's getting embarrassing at this point. He'll drop out. You could see DeSantis drop out. I don't see a path now for DeSantis being the nominee. Again, if it's just up to the voters, it's going to be Donald Trump. If it's because of the legal process and the kangaroo court and shenanigans where states threaten to kick Trump off the ballot, and the GOP leadership, they monkey around with the rules that even though Trump has the most votes, they will kick him out of the party. Then they'll have to decide who to make in as a nominee. It could be a brokered convention. It's going to be a wild time. Is what YouTube is calling a sensitive event. So I don't know if we'll be able to discuss it on YouTube, but it's going to be a crazy time. So buckle up. It's going to be wild. But again, congratulations to Donald Trump. He stomped the competition. He didn't even bother to do the debates. He didn't even campaign, and he just stomped Iowa. And he'll win all the states. New Hampshire won't be as big as Iowa, but when we get to Super Tuesday in March, that's where all the other states, pretty much all the other states, he's just going to dominate. And at that point, he will have the nomination wrapped up. But going into the convention, we'll have to see what the courts do. So it's going to be a wild time. But congratulations, Donald Trump. I see him. He's going to be the nominee unless there's these shenanigans. DeSantis, I don't see a path forward. He's not going to beat Donald Trump. So he can't beat Donald Trump based on votes. And if they kick Donald Trump out of the party, the people that are doing that, the power brokers in the Republican Party, I don't see them supporting DeSantis. The neocons and all the BlackRock money and all the corrupt people, they want Nikki Haley. And so if Trump's kicked out, I see them trying to put in Nikki Haley. And she did fairly well. She's not very popular in Iowa, but she did almost tie DeSantis. Maybe she'll go ahead of him. So I think it's devastating for DeSantis. So I agree with Nikki Haley. She said it's going to come down to a two-person race, Trump and Haley. And again, it's not really much of a race. Everyone wants Trump. He's going to dominate Haley, but she's sticking around in case there's any legal shenanigans where they kick him out of the party. So that is my take on the events of tonight. It's a cold night here in Arkansas. It's supposed to get under 0 Fahrenheit. It's already probably under 0 out there. I'm freezing in here. That's why I have my hat on, have layers of clothes on. But guys, thanks a lot, and I will talk to you guys later.